Is Wrath of the Lich King the peak of World of Warcraft, or was this the beginning of WoW's fall from grace? From epic raids to design disasters, let's break down Wrath of the Lich King from the good, the bad, and the ugly. So grab your tabard, summon your flying mount, and let's head back to Northrend. Let's start with the good, because Wrath really did a lot right. In fact, it's still held up as a benchmark for modern expansions, and for good reason. First, we have cinematic storytelling and Arthas' presence. Wrath of the Lich King took WoW's narrative to a whole new level. Arthas wasn't just some boss waiting at the end, he was part of the journey. From his first appearance in Howling Fjord or Dragonblight to the epic Wrathgate cinematic, the expansion wove him into the entire player experience. You weren't just leveling, you were in his world. That final confrontation in Icecrown Citadel, one of the most emotionally charged raid encounters in World of Warcraft history.
Let them come. Frostmourne hungers.
Northrend's zone design. Northrend was stunningly cohesive. Each zone had its own atmosphere and identity. Borean Tundra and Howling Fjord gave players two distinct starting experiences, something no other expansion has done since. Grizzly Hills had some of the most memorable music in the game, and zones like Icecrown and Storm Peaks brought a scale and verticality that felt epic, even by today's standards. Raids and dungeons that still hold up. Wrath delivered some all-time great raids. Ulduar, with its ancient Titan themes and innovative mechanics, is still considered by many to be the best raid WoW has ever produced. And Icecrown Citadel, that entire build-up from the Forge of Souls to the Frozen Throne, was incredibly satisfying. Even dungeons like Halls of Reflection delivered serious drama and storytelling, not just loot and XP. Quality of life enhancements. Wrath introduced a ton of features that are now standard. Achievements gave players long-term goals. Dual spec made swapping roles between raids and dungeons actually practical. And for better or worse, the Dungeon Finder gave every player the ability to instantly find groups. No more standing in trade chat begging for a tank. At the time, it felt revolutionary. The bad. Of course, Wrath wasn't perfect. Beneath the polished surface, there were some issues that started to wear on players as the expansion progressed. Some added features created unexpected results, like Dungeon Finder's social fallout. The Dungeon Finder was a blessing for accessibility, but it also marked the beginning of a shift in WoW's social structure. Server identity started to erode. You didn't need to talk to anyone anymore. You just queued up, cleared your dungeon, and left. For a lot of veteran players, that was the beginning of the end for meaningful in-game relationships.
Oh! Well, pardon me, Mr. Perfect! I guess I forgot that you never ever make a mistake!
Class imbalance and role favoritism. Balance in Wrath wasn't awful, but it wasn't exactly tight either. Some specs were absolute monsters. Arcane mages, survival hunters, and unholy DKs reigned supreme for a good chunk of the expansion. Others, like feral druids or enhancement shamans, struggled to find raid spots. And in PvP, let's just say some comps were practically invincible, while others were free kills. Naxxromas 2.0, a missed opportunity. Wrath's first raid tier was a full-on rehash of Naxxromas. Sure, it was a cool piece of history, especially for players who missed it in vanilla. But for raiders hoping for something new and exciting, it felt like a soft launch. Worse yet, it was extremely easy. Full clears were happening in pugs within a week, not exactly the epic kickoff players had hoped for. And now, the ugly. This is the stuff that even back then had players raising eyebrows and, in some cases, rage quitting. Gear score madness. Wrath is where gear score really took off, and it warped how people built groups. Instead of asking whether someone could play well, players were judged by one number. If you didn't hit an arbitrary threshold, you weren't getting invited. It encouraged gatekeeping, discouraged new players, and turned gearing into a weird social arms race. Trial of the Crusader, the raid with no soul. TOC wasn't bad mechanically, but it was soulless. 5 bosses in one room, no trash, no environment, just one big arena, and the same fights over and over in normal, heroic 10-man and 25-man modes. It felt like content designed to pad the calendar, not tell a story, and dropping it right after Ulduar? Brutal. It instantly made one of the best raids in the game feel obsolete. And of course, the Death Knight problem. Okay, full disclosure, I play a Death Knight, so I won't complain too much. But let's be real, DKs were ridiculous at launch, tanking in DPS gear, soloing group quests, two-shotting players in PvP. They were the new shiny class and Blizzard gave them a full buffet of power. It took nearly the entire expansion to balance them out, and for everyone not playing one, it got old real fast. Wrath of the Lich King was a turning point. It brought World of Warcraft into a golden age of storytelling, quality content, and broad appeal, but it also introduced systems and philosophies that would reshape the game forever. For many, it's the pinnacle of WoW. For others, it's where the slow decline began. So where do you land? Was Wrath your favorite expansion or the start of WoW losing its soul? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this look back, give the video a like, maybe a sub, and I'll see you next time with more WoW retrospectives.